for bed while I tell you random facts about myself and do my skincare. I'm Jess. I'm your queer older sister, and I thought that we could get to know each other a little bit better. My biggest life hack first is wash your hands with an antibacterial soap before you do your skincare, okay? Because keep in mind, if you go straight into washing your face with your hands, all of that is now just mixed in your face. It'll change the game. I'm 34. I am, like I mentioned previously, a traveling medical assistant, and I love my job. I'm in school for speech language pathology, so I'm very excited to start my master's program for that in the next couple of years. I'm just finishing up some classes to get my official bachelor's in communications. So I actually use these little scrubby things, and I got these at Five Below. And I have some face wash that I have left over from a trip in a container, so I'm just using that first. And scrubby around the face. I find that this makes my skin so much softer and that it feels a lot cleaner. At first, it felt really drying, but when you follow it up with the right steps, it makes a bigger difference. The person that I really admire most is, I actually took care of this lady with Lou Gehrig's ALS during my time at Utah State. I did a quick 6-month stint at Utah State, failed out, went home. But her name was Kim, and she's since passed. But I tell her this every time I would go and visit her. She changed my life in so many ways. I can't even express. She was the first person I got to see with a speech pathologist outside of a school setting. So I didn't even know that was a possibility. So every time I would talk to her about it, she would just cheer me on, and she'd be so excited because she and I got along so incredibly well. She was one of the sign language interpreters for the presidents before she was diagnosed. She ended up being one of the longest living women with ALS, and she was one of the most incredible, funniest people. She had a dark sense of humor, 100%, but I mean, she's a terminal diagnosis. So I used to just literally hold my face over my sink and splash it like I was single-handedly in an Olay commercial. I'm not. But now I realized that I can just use my washcloth. I don't know why I felt so weird about doing this in the first place. So I'm kind of nervous because this past period I broke out super bad. And so I'm like, oh, please don't break out bad like that. But I think that it was when I first started working out. It was there was a lot of factors that had to do with it that weren't my skin, I think. So we're getting our life together on that. The next step in my skincare is actually these toner pads and Mediheal, I don't know, single-use cotton pads. There is 3 different kinds. I think there's a tea tree one as well, but I use all of these in different scenarios. So for basic before bed skincare, we go with the blue. This is skin texture healing, skin brightening, but not as much as the vitamin C. It comes with a little thing. These, literally, I heard about them from a mutual account on TikTok. Then on Amazon Prime Days, the summertime one, I was able to get them for 20 bucks. So I ended up buying them and trying them for the first time. These have been a staple ever since. I don't think I'll ever get rid of these. So you can use them, if you have a problem area, you can use them and literally just like a face mask and stick them all over. Or you can use them as a toner pad, which is what I use unless I have a big breakout. So when I have there's always still some left over, and I just literally use that on my arms or on my chest. We're not wasteful around here, babes. And back to people that have influenced me, and Kim is a huge one that influenced me. I think about her all the time. And when she passed away, I was devastated. To say the least, I was devastated. Lately, I've been really liking this Medicube Rose Peptide Serum. It honestly feels pretty thick going on because it is a thick serum, but as you kind of warm it up with your hands into your skin, it ends up thinning out and feeling so good. It also smells just super good, and I think I am running out. It just smells good. Hey, Mom.
Were you sleeping?
No, I'm just doing my skincare.
Alright. I'll let you go, honey.
Alright, love you.
Good job on the vlogs. Love you.
Thanks,
Love
Mom.
you.
I love you too.
Bye.
Bye. The mom is so funny. So she and I have come a extremely long way in the terms of our relationship. And we're not perfect, okay? We're not perfect, we're humans. But she is still like one of my biggest supporters when it comes to a lot of things. So I've been using the Bioma moisturizer. This is like my holy grail go-to drugstore makeup product, okay? Which it's not necessarily drugstore, but like Target, it's like $14 for this. I do it morning and night, and it's like, it lasts for about a month doing both, as like 2 to 3 pumps each. It literally gets, I compare it to like a Drunk Elephant dupe, honestly, with the way it feels and like some of the ingredients in it, but it's way more affordable. So I love Bioma in general. Like they're like, all of their products are super lightweight and super basic. Like they strip everything down and bring it down to the basics. And that's probably my favorite way to do skincare. I do, however, have like a rotation routine. Some of my favorite serums when I'm not doing what I'm doing now are these Bioma serums. I like to use this one when I'm doing like gua shaing, which I haven't been doing for a while just because I was trying to get my skin back together. And then I also, a favorite moisturizer of mine is probably this Medicube Vitamin C. One, I think it's really fun to mix in the back of your hand. And two, it just is so hydrating as like a sleep mask. But while I was trying to like re-get my skin together, it was just really heavy and thick. So I didn't feel like it was appropriate at the time. But I do think there is some science behind like skincare rotation. I pretty much just got into skincare like within the last year. I've always been somebody that, like, I was somebody that would just rub my face with a wet washcloth, use those little toner pads that sting the crap out of you, some, like, body lotion, and go. That was my extent of skincare. And then I started to really get into it on TikTok, and I was like, let me get into this. And so I started doing research and trying products and watching videos and doing this stuff. And now I realize I love skincare in general. Honestly, it started because I was trying to be more, I try to live more intentionally. I've had a lot of death in my life, and if you know, if you've experienced that as well, you know that that changes you. The way you live starts to be different, and you start to live more intentionally because you realize there really is not a plan. You really never know when something's going to happen to the person that you love the most or to yourself. So I wanted to do skincare because you have to wait for it to dry. So it forces you to be more intentional while you're like doing your moisturizer and all that stuff on your face. You have to be in the moment. So when I'm doing that by myself, I focus a lot on like, okay, like I'm feeling my hands on my face. I'm doing all of that so I can stay in the moment and kind of reset and calibrate back into myself every night before I go to bed. I have felt that that has dramatically changed things for me. One, because I love skincare time, and two, it gives me a good calming reset before bed. So I'm a big fan of skincare, and if you don't do skincare, one, that's okay, live your best life, but I highly recommend finding some kind of skincare routine or hair care routine. I do hair oiling, as you know, and I used to, when I had longer hair, I do hair conditioning and masks, and I'd like braid it before bed. Anything that's kind of tactile that allows you to kind of like come back into yourself and focus on the feeling of things, the sense of things, just to re-ground yourself before bed or something like that, because it really just gives you a peace of mind and takes everything that happened during the day and makes it a little bit smaller. Sometimes the places I work are not always joyous places in the patients that we're seeing. Not because they're not good patients, but because they're getting horrible news all the time. So doing skincare is something that I can reflect back on in order to kind of shake that off a little bit and just exist back into my own body and not in their feelings anymore, because I love my patients. Like when I'm with them, I am their best friend. Okay, like we've been best friends for their entire life, and that is my person. I love them. They are everything to me. So in those moments, it can be exhausting and it can be tough and you can cry a lot. If you're in healthcare and you have like tons of empathy and you feel things like that, you know what I'm talking about. I wouldn't change it for the entire world, okay? I'm good at my job. But it can be exhausting. So being able to come home and at the end of the day, just refocus back into yourself and your own body and your own mind and your own feelings has really given me the ability to not get as burnt out as easy as I know a lot of people in healthcare do, which makes sense. So I'm really excited for this upcoming time because I have some ideas I've been rolling around in my head for you guys. Like, I can't wait to share them with you during Vlogmas. Thank you so much for all of my subscribers that I've gained. I have, I think, 19 right now. Again, my goal is 150. So if you're not subscribed to me and you had fun on this, you know where the button is. So yeah, had a blast. I love you guys. I hope that you have the best day tomorrow. And I'll see you tomorrow. Love ya.